how to get CE credit by being a part of um, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm and logging on to the Create Your New Life sessions every week. It's real easy. Student must be logged in at the time the session begins. Student must show instructor their identification. Instructor has to be able to see the student's face the entire time. Student must stay online the entire time. So you just got to do those four things. You do those four things, and guess what? You got you some CE credit. That's right. So again, in addition to these, we'll be offering in-office 2-hour CE credit courses through our Continuing Education Institute. So we're excited about that. All right. So again, we want to thank you for visiting with us today. If you're not a member of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, maybe you're checking us out on our YouTube page. Maybe you are looking at the live broadcast right now. Then we definitely want to say thank you for coming. If you are considering signing up with a new firm, you like what I talk about here today, dial this number right here behind us. Let's get you scheduled. Come in, sit with me. Let me talk to you how I can change your real estate life, your real estate career. So give our office a call. We'd love to sit with you. At any point, if we had any agents that were on with us, they can come and they can engage, ask questions. These trainings are not meant for me to just be talking. Although I will just talk, that is not what they're meant to do. So again, they can stop and we can converse. Now, today's title, I actually kind of switched it up. It says the best way to list and sell a property, but mid-stroke, I decided I don't want to say list. I want to say market. So we're going to be talking about the best way to market and sell a property. So after we're finished with our session today, I'm going to change the title. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. The best way to market and sell a property, getting a house sold. That is what we're going to be talking about. Now, we're going to be looking at, obviously, we're going to be looking at that. It's going to be a 5-week series. So we're going to do like an overview to start the series off of the skill sets that we're going to be looking at. Now, everything that we do, it's about the Success in RE Machine, which is that online software that Brooks and Davis agents have access to. So today's overview, we're going to be quickly kind of going through that software. We're going to be touching upon the skill sets that are specifically related to those particular areas. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Also, you know, we have a game. I mean, we have it's like a leadership game that we have coming up this week through a great guru when it comes to leadership is the person that designed it. So we're really excited about what's going to be happening on Thursday. So if you're an agent, if you're a part of Brooks and Davis, if you're an affiliate, we highly encourage you to come out on this Thursday. But I'll go into more detail as we get into our session today. We're going to look at our hot properties list. Just give you an idea, especially since we're talking about marketing properties. I thought it made sense for us to just show you some of the ways that we market homes and we market our inventory. So we're going to look through that as well, and a host of other things. So our quote for today has to do with now the interesting thing is that I read a lot of magazines, and this was actually an advertisement in, I think, an AARP magazine, and it said, at the end of the day, no one remembers second place. And the ad came from the Baylor School of Medicine. It was the Baylor College of Medicine magazine ad. It was, but the quote really stuck with me because nobody does remember second place. So why be second? Should always strive to be first. So, you know, whether it's Brooks and Davis, which again talks about, you know, one of the things we're going to be talking about today is our big, hairy, audacious goal, what we're trying to accomplish. And that has to do with trying to be number one, because nobody remembers number two, only number one. Nobody remembers number two. So I thought that was a good quote. Like I said, I read it in the magazine and it really stood out to me. So I wanted to include it in today's session, which is funny. It leads us right into the next thing, which is our moment in core. Remember? So Brooks and Davis has core ideology. And every time we have our session, we look at one aspect of our core ideology. Our core ideology includes a goal, it includes a purpose, and it includes 5 values, right? So today we're going to be looking at our goal. We call it a big, hairy, audacious goal, or our core goal. And that goal is to be the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability by 2020. Now, the practical side of me understands that to be the #1 real estate company in the state by next year is not going to happen. But what I can say is, regardless of what the time year is back here, it's not going to deter us from what our ultimate goal is, which is to be the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability. All right. Well, Mike, how long is that going to take? Who knows? It's going to take however long it's going to take. But that's what our goal is as a part of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Now, we do know, again, I have 2017 and 2016 numbers. I need to get me some updated numbers. I just haven't ran across them yet. But as of 2017, Martha Turner Sotheby's International was the #1 firm in our Metroplex, in the Houston Metroplex. You can see what their average sales price is, and you can see the amount of transactions that they did. But again, production is what we're concerned about. So production-wise, they're the #1 in the Metroplex. Now, 2016 numbers is what I have for the state. And at that time, Keller Williams Realty Arlington is the #1 in the state. They did $8.79 billion worth of production. But look how many transactions they needed to do. Average sales price. None of that matters to me because we want to be #1 in production. So however many transactions it takes, it takes. You can see Martha Turner, they're more efficient. They have a higher average sales price, but you can take a $260,000 sales price and still knock it out the park. So we know what we're trying to accomplish. We know where we're going, and we need everybody's help, whether an agent, whether an affiliate, client, customer. We all got to work together to accomplish this feat, and we're going to accomplish it. We're going to be the #1 real estate firm in production and profitability in the state. Mark my words. Okay, so that was our moment in core. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the performance that the company has done over the last couple of weeks. Since we missed 2 weeks, this is actually going to span a couple of weeks. Now, the good thing is that over those 2 weeks, we had increased production. So we're getting closer and closer to that $4 million mark, which is the mark that I really want us to get back to. I feel really comfortable hovering between $4 and $5 million. Now, from where we've come is a big deal because we relaunched our Create Your New Life sessions back in March. And when we relaunched those sessions, we started off at about $1.5 million. So you can go back to episode 100. You'll see 1.5 million is where we were. And then over these last 4 episodes, we've dramatically increased our production and what's been added to the pending board. So I'm excited and very proud of our agents as they continue to put in work, as they continue to listen to the training and the development that we offer, which is helping them get people under contract, which is ultimately where we're trying to go, where everybody should be trying to go if they're in this business. So let's take a look at how our top 5 is shaping out for this week as well. So we have had movement. Looks like my favorite agent, your favorite agent, Ms. LaQuana Davis, is now the #1 producing agent. So she put in some work. She now has 4 transactions up on the board, and overnight she went from not being on the list to being at the bottom of the list to being at the top of the list. That's how quickly it can happen. We've seen a number of movement over, say, the last 5 episodes. I don't think the #1 slot has been the same for every single episode. I think each week we've had a new #1 person. So that's good volatility, good activity. Unfortunately, my fellas got knocked out. We had for the longest, Charles was holding it down for the fellas, but hey, right now it's an all women's race. So congratulations, ladies. Keep up the good work. So that's LaQuana. Margaret's holding down #2. Kalima's #3. We have Brina and we have Chica. So congratulations, ladies, for maintaining your positions or moving up and down how we've been moving. All right. So we also want to welcome, we have brought on some new people into our family. We want to welcome Mr. Roderick Dixon. He comes to us. He's already licensed. As a matter of fact, I'm meeting with him today to do our GAT meeting and to get him on track That's what our GAP meeting is about. But we're excited to have Roderick on board, and that he's going to help. He's going to assist, maybe get the guys to be in the top 5. But we definitely want to welcome Roderick. He's been in the business for some time now, and I think he'll be a great addition to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm family. We also have Tempest LaFontaine. We want to welcome her. She's come on board as a new affiliate. She's been taking advantage of some of the Brooks and Davis programming that we have coming down the pipeline. She's a member. We go to church together, so she's a member of my church. So I'm excited to have Tempest to be a part, and we definitely want to welcome her to the family as well. So welcome everyone. All right, so today we're going to look at, during our new listing showcase, we're going to talk about the hot properties list. Okay, again, we are talking about how to market and sell a home, and are the best ways to do that. And I thought it was good to reintroduce our BDREF weekly list. So we have a marketing piece that goes out on a weekly basis. So anytime we get a new contract, anytime we get a new listing, then it becomes a part of this marketing piece that we send out via social media. We send out email blasts. We send out to a number of individuals to give additional and added exposure to what we have for sale. So this is not the current list. This is just a write-up for illustration purposes. But the real list, I'm going to pull that up so we can see it. There we go. So I can get to, where's my list? Boom, there we go. So here's the real list. So if a person went to that link, it will take them to our actual current hot properties list. So you can see, what we have. We got the title, right? And guess what? What we did was we took the thumbnails for when we do our listing videos that are on our YouTube page to give it some character, right? So it didn't seem like it was just the same old boring one picture on the side, one profile picture, description showing everything. It was boring. So we wanted to give it some character. So by giving it some character, we take the thumbnails that we designed for the YouTube videos, and that becomes the profile video for the property. Then we have the address, we have the price. We talk about purchase options form, right? Which is, so you're selling more than just the property. You're selling also different financing term or purchase options for the individual. And then we give them the link. So if they click on that link, they can get additional pictures, video, financing options, and further information. So we make it real clean and succinct, not a bunch of verbiage. And they can click on the link and boom, and it takes them to additional information for the property, right? So that's our hot property list. So this is currently what we have. We have our property on Rolling Brook. We have our property on Mullins. We have Sandusville. That's sold, so that's good. We have our Alameda Genoa, but that property is currently under contract. We have our Eastland property that's sold, and then we have our Sherwood property for lease that is, and even that one has, I think we highlighted that property last week. So again, you have to be creative when promoting, when pushing properties. The sign in the yard, sometimes that gets it done, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to make sure that you're putting in the right activity to get the house sold. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about in this new 5-week series of the best way to market and sell a property. All right, so that's our weekly list. Now we do like to highlight, the proprietary programming that we have that sets us apart as a brokerage firm from other firms. So I always like to bring out our mural of stuff, our mural of value that Brooks and Davis offers. So again, if you're looking at this, you're on our YouTube page, you're looking at the live broadcast, and you are considering a new brokerage firm, then these are all the things that we offer that we feel are that differentiate us. And I am currently at this moment looking for other ways to differentiate us and set us apart as a real estate company. We're always looking to add, we're always looking to improve. Matter of fact, what we're going to do, and you guys be on the lookout, my agents, definitely my agents first, and I'm still determining if we're going to send it to the affiliates. But the agents, be on the lookout for a survey, a link. And that link, we need that information to help us see. We do have a lot of proprietary programming. What are people taking advantage of, right? What is working the best? What are people seeing as the most valuable that are currently a part of the Brooks and Davis family? And as I'm talking about it, I'm convincing myself that, yeah, I will send it to the affiliates as well. We want you to fill that survey out. It's only 6 questions, right? But with those 6 questions, not only is it going to help us make sure that we're being effective with those that are already a part of the Brooks and Davis family, but it'll allow us to craft the right message, the right recruiting message as we look to grow through agent count. So be on the lookout for that. I would say here probably this week, you should be getting it. I'm probably going to text you the link. You can fill the survey out on your phone. It may literally take you 2 minutes. Fill out the survey so we can capture the data and improve what we're doing here, right? So the proprietary item that we're going to highlight today has to do with one of the first things that's on the collage, which is our special agent membership card and a SAM number. So whenever an agent signs up with us, then on a commission split, the commission plan, they get one of these cards. The reason that we created this card is because we wanted to make it easily accessible. We wanted to make the things that we offered easily accessible. Things like the success hotline number you see here that's on the side. Things like the Success and RE Machine website, along with your user information, your credentials to log in, right? So you'll know what plan that you're on, whether that's commission split, 100%. You'll know what your agent SAM number is because there are certain benefits that commission split agents have that affiliates don't have, that 100% agents don't have. So you have to we identify you by your SAM number. So that's important. Also, the website for the online store where you can get the discounts. Our agents and our affiliates can get discounts from the paraphernalia versus regular people. Get you some merch. So you get a card, it's laminated, and like it says at the top, you can keep the card in your wallet. I feel like the card is, again, you're not having to remember where certain things are. I'll tell an agent quick. When they say that they don't know what I'll tell them, hey, go to your Success and RA machine. And the thought process is they should be able to just dig into their wallet, pull out their card, and easily type in the information and go to it fairly quickly. So, again, same thing with the hotline number. As we're sending the text messages out for things like to create your new life or different events that we're having, we're texting from the hotline number. So in addition to it being on the card, you also get text from that number. So you might want to save it in your phone. Save it as BDREF hotline number. So now when we do send you text, or when we do, or if you need to call, and you see right here is a flyer for the hotline, and it talks about between the hours of 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. if you call that number, somebody's going to answer the phone. You are not alone, which is the whole point of the hotline. So that's the number. And we put that number again on your SAM card. So we felt like that was a piece, although it seems like it's a fairly simple piece, but we felt like it was a very effective piece to help people as they transition into being successful in real estate. Okay, so now, again, I spoke about this briefly earlier, but again, I highly encourage agent or affiliate, or if you're invited by one of our agents or one of our affiliates, then you can come to the session. So what that means is, if you don't know one of our agents, if you're looking at this broadcast and you're interested in attending this event, well, call the office, right? Say, ask to speak to me or somebody, and let them know what you want to do. Tell us a little bit about yourself so we can get to know you. And then now we're inviting you to the event. So there's a way for people that are not agents and affiliates to come, right? But they have to be invited by an agent or an affiliate or somebody that's already a part of the firm. But we think that this event is going to be really, really awesome, right? If you haven't gotten this flyer, you haven't received this flyer, I'm just going to read a couple of things of what to expect. So this is the leadership game. It's the sales edition of the leadership game, and it's presented by the John Maxwell team. So the game was designed by John Maxwell. John Maxwell is a foremost authority of leadership training. I've read a number of his books. I think the 48 Laws of Leadership, the 21 Laws of Irrefutable Leadership, and is one of the books that I've read. But he also has the Laws of Leadership that, when you read that book, it really does help you move ahead of the pack when it comes to leadership. And so we have one of the representatives from his team, Ms. Deanna Upshaw, who is going to be presenting the game and hosting the game for us at the corporate team conference room this Thursday. So it's this Thursday from 12:30 to 2:30. All right. It's a great opportunity for sales professionals to gather around the table and learn and grow from one another using sales, communication, and leadership principles. It's a globally recognized leader. John Maxwell is a globally recognized leader. And the game will challenge players to become more relational and less transactional, which is very important in their approach to selling. You will come from the table with a better understanding of how to connect with potential buyers and discover the best practices to improve sales results. Now, there are 3 areas that we're going to be looking at. Number 1, sharpening your sales skills. So in a fun and engaging environment, you will learn new skills and reinforce your current skills to improve your sales performance. So this thing is all about sales performance improvement. That's why if you're one of my real estate agents or one of our real estate agents, you're one of our affiliates, which you guys are about to get into real estate, you need to come to this event on Thursday so you can sharpen your sales skills. It's going to require sales, all right? The second thing is always be connecting. ABCs, right? I say always be closing, but they say connecting. It says more than anything, selling is about connecting and establishing rapport, which is they're right. With each roll of the die, you'll learn how to more effective in your sales approach, how to be more effective in your sales approach. All right, and the last thing is close the deal. So they're going to teach us the bottom line is you want to increase your sales results. Play the game and you will learn practical tips and value that can help you maximize every sales opportunity. So again, this Thursday from 12:30 to 2:30, make sure you RSVP at the link. It's going to be at the corporate office in the conference room. I'm going to be there. You should be there, and let's increase our effectiveness when it comes to sales. That's this Thursday. All right, so awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into our training for today. Now, remember, we are talking about the best way to market and sell a property. But again, everything that we do, always going to reiterate it, everything that we do starts with this beautiful thing right here, the Realtor Success Funnel. Everything that we do, everything that how we coach, how we train, and how we develop stems from this concept. And that concept is based on being versed in 6 skill sets, right? Going from generating leads and more leads, making contact, with your leads and consistent follow-up, successfully scheduling the consultation, ensuring you leave the consultation with a client, getting the client under contract as soon as possible, and finally getting the contract that you now have closed as smooth and as fast as possible. So 6 skill sets that are operating in 6 areas, right? The 6 areas, again, having to do with leads. Leads, and more leads is the first area as you're moving through the funnel. Second area is contact, making contact, being consistent in your contact, having a follow-up protocol in place that can help facilitate that contact. Consultation, you know, everything leads to the next place, right? Leads should lead to contact. You should be moving to contact. When you're making contact, it should be driving to consultation. You do the consultation, it should be driving for them to become a client. As they're your client, you should be driving to get them under contract, whether buy or sell. And when they're under contract, you should be driving to get to the close table. And then even after you get to the close table, you're still not finished, because you're going to recycle that thing back into skill set number 2, which is making contact with your leads and consistent follow-up. So you add a past client back into your follow-up protocol. See? So that's how this thing works. So today, we're talking about seller clients. So we're dealing with from this part of the success funnel all the way down. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what the green and the white represent on the success funnel. Inside of the blue box, right? This blue box right here, which represents foundational stuff. Building your funnel on top of a solid foundation. So that's like things like having your tools, so having your super key, and when we talk about CRM and having that in place and time block, that's what that blue box represents. Now, inside of the blue box, you have the green, which is inside of the funnel, and the green represents activity. So notice the top of the funnel requires a lot more activity than the bottom of the funnel requires. Okay. Well, now the white represents skill set. So again, if you go from the top of the funnel to the top of the funnel requires less skill set than the bottom of the funnel requires. That's why it's important. And that's why we've designed our brokerage the way that we've designed it, because we recognize my expertise as a broker and an agent, having, 15 years in a business, over 1,000 transactions that I've been privy to. Well, you don't necessarily need that expertise when we're talking about generating leads, when we're talking about making contact. You don't necessarily need that expertise, because that part of the process is really about volume. How many leads, how much of the activities are you doing to generate the leads? How many phone calls and contacts are you making on a daily basis? That's activity. But as we start moving down, and as you get someone that says, yes, I'll meet with you, right? Then now, you need to start tapping into that expertise that I have, that Mr. Brooks has. So that's why, if it's a matter of going on an initial buyer consultation or a listing appointment, I'll go with you. If it's a matter, because I want to make sure when you leave that consultation, you've gotten a new client. There's a level of skill that has to come with that thing. So as we start looking at skill sets 4 through 6, which are the skill sets that we're going to be highlighting over the next 5 weeks as it relates to sellers, then yes, you tapping into my skills, my experience, my experiential knowledge is key. Allow me to give you this white of the funnel, and as we're doing the transaction, as you're relying on me, then you're going to be gaining that experiential knowledge and expertise while you're going through it. So it's not a matter of doing the whole trial by error thing. Look, that's what I did. That's what Mr. Brooks did. You don't have to do it. So rely on our skill, rely on our expertise as we walk you and get you to the closing table and get you paid. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm your broker. Okay. So everything starts with the Real to Success funnel. Now, what we're going to do is, we got to log in. So as we log in, we go here. Remember, I showed it on your card. So all of our agents have access to the card, which gives them the website of the Success and RE machine. So when you go to that website, boom, it says this. Let's do that. Boom, we don't need to say it no more. We know it's good. We'll click on login. There we go. And then let's see. I'm going to put my credentials in there. And boom. Click on the login button. It's thinking. And boom. Now we're logged in. So now, remember, on our Success and RE machine, remember we talked about 6 skill sets? There's 7 areas that are part of the Success and RE machine. The first area is the Start Here button. That's where you start. So this is the Start Here page. But guess what? The Start Here button, as it relates to the Real to Success funnel, is the blue square. It's the blue square items. It's also, when we have our GAT number 1 meeting, the things that we discuss between the GAT number 1 meeting and the orientation when you sign on board with us. That's the Start Here. Then you have an area for each one of the skill sets. So, if you ever forget them, they're right here to the right of the funnel. Skill set 1 through 6. So again, it's a very simple software. It's broke down. We try to make it as clean as possible. And whatever skill set, whatever area that you're a part of the funnel that you're at, you can click on one of these tabs and it takes you to content that speaks specifically, not only just specifically to that skill set. So successfully scheduling a consultation doesn't just give you information specifically to that skill set, but it also gives it to you specific to the type of lead that you have. So for a buyer lead, these are the things that are specific to scheduling a consultation for a buyer lead. Same thing for a seller, apartment, and for a tenant. And then you can click on go to the next one. All right. So today we're going to start off, like I said, we're not going to be spending time dealing with the first 2 skill sets. That's not what this series is going to be about. This series is going to be about dealing with skill sets 4 through 6. Okay. So as I take you back to the Success and RE machine, I click on skill set number 4, which is I said we're going to start. Well, skill set number 4 begins with making sure you leave the consultation with a client. So now the reason that we start with skill set number 4 is because although we're going to be spending, say, 95% of it operating with how once they're a client, there are certain items that we take on the consultation that we're going to have to discuss. So that's why we start with skill set number 4. Now, look, even though we go to this main page, remember, we are only dealing with sellers. So we clicked on the seller's link, and that seller's link is going to take us to the part of the process that deals specifically with ensuring you leave the consultation with a client. Now, again, there are certain areas in this process that we're going to point out. So starting next week, we're going to go into detail as far as the specific items that we do need to pull out, which are going to assist us once they become our client. Okay. But there's a complete written process. If you click on this link, it'll take you to the complete process, but it's 4 pages. And it can become overwhelming because this process deals with the initial phone call. It says receive the phone call, all the way to closing the file out and recycling it after you close. So that's why we broke it down into pieces, because so this green area is just one portion, right? It's just the top portion, the utmost portion of the entire process. So it allows you to focus on that specific area. But if you want to see the entire process, you got two places that you can hit it. You can click it here, or you can go under the videos and you can click it down here. It gives you access to the flyer. All right. So now, as you can see on the pages, you got videos, right, which are great. So all of these videos are specific to making sure you leave the consultation with a client. It's all about prepping and preparing for that presentation. Also, you have access to these items of value, that great digital content that you can utilize, as you're giving handouts when you go on the consultations. And then, you have the forms. So like I said, we're going to be digging into we're not going to really be spending a lot of time with this one. I'm just going to use skill set number 4 to point out those particular items that we utilize once a person becomes a client. Okay. So those are the areas of skill set 4. Now we're also going to look at skill set 5. So skill set 5 and skill set 6 is where we're going to spend the bulk of walking this thing out and going into detail, because good, look what it says. We're talking about how to market and sell a property. So what that means is that we're making the assumption that they're already a client. That's the assumption that we're making. So that's why skill set 5 and skill set 6 are the skill sets that we're going to be utilizing and digging deep into, because those are your client skill sets. Those are the skill sets that you become versed in on how to be better with working with your client. As we go back to what we're going to be talking about on this Thursday, building rapport and your relational skills, that's what we're talking about. This is where you would use that information. You would use it in the skill sets 5 and 6. So skill set 5 is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time. Now, again, look, it's getting the client under contract as soon as possible. That's what it's about. But we're only interested in, for right now, for sellers. So we just click on that. So now look, when we click on it again, it gives us the excerpt. It gives us the information that is specific to that part of the process once you've picked up the client. All right. Again, it gives us videos, shows me going through that part of the funnel. So you have your videos, and again, you have access to the complete process. And we talked about, if you want to see the complete process, you have those links there. So we're going to click on those. And then it just talks about the other areas that we're going to need to successfully navigate through working on getting an offer, right? Because that's all marketing is about. Marketing is about exposing the property. It's about follow up on people that are interested, how efficient that process is for you. And it's about your negotiation skills. Those 3 things are the important things as far as you getting a property under contract. It's exposure, as much exposure as possible, being as creative as possible in your exposure to your property. It has to do with follow-up. So when you have people that are engaged, that are calling in, that are responding to your marketing, having something in place to where you don't drop the ball from that respect, that you return phone calls quickly, that whenever adjustments are happening, you can easily get that information out to the people that have shown interest as to re-spark or give them additional incentive to buy your property or submit an offer on your property. So the follow-up is key. And then negotiation, how skilled you are in engaging somebody that is serious about submitting you a 1-to-4 family contract. But it's more than just getting agreement. You want to make sure that you get the right kind of agreement, so it increases your chances of it not busting out during the transaction management side of things, which is skill set number 6. So to put yourself in the best place, you got to know how to negotiate and negotiate well. Okay. So those are the 3 things. So skill set number 5 is where we're going to look at in detail, and I'm going to give you some recommendations and show you some additional things. Like I showed you the hot property list, which is just one way that we can expose and we can market our clients' properties. Look, we do the listing showcase with Create Your New Life. It's another way to showcase clients' properties, and we have a number of other ways that we do it as well. So we're going to talk about all of those, and once we get to the areas of skill set 5. All right. And then the final skill set is skill set 6. So once you have the client and once you successfully negotiated it, and now you have a fully executed contract, and now you send it to the title company, or it's been sent to the title company, it's in escrow, you've given us the information, and now we put it on the pending board, and we're counting you as one of the agents in the top 5. Now you're in skill set 6. And that's when you deal with the transactional side of things. So that skill set 6. So guess what? We're going to look at, what did I do there? We're going to look at, boom, there we go. So we're going to look at a success in RE machine. Go back to the main dashboard page. And look, again, you got 2 ways to go. We can either click the tab here, or you can click down here and it'll progress you to skill set number 6. Just so you can see how it all goes in order. Right? So skill set 6 is getting a contract that you now have closed as smooth and as fast as possible. Takes you to the guideline. You know, we are going to talk about, you know, you do need to know how to find your items when it's time to get paid. So CDA and all of that stuff, it's in here. But in addition, what we're concerned about is the seller side of things. So once we get to this part, we'll see the excerpt and how it speaks, dealing with closings and things like that. You know, we have our videos, and the videos are you know, talking about the different aspects when it comes to these items. All right. You'll have access to the entire process. There's some checklists that we're going to go through, some resources that we're going to take a look at as well. Again, to give the insights that are needed and necessary to ensure that the deal does not lose, that you do not lose the deal. Because, you know, this video right here is key. And again, we're going to go into detail once we get to that part. But there are other people's opinions, and based on those opinions, your deal can bust out, right? So you got to be skilled. That's why, like we showed earlier, the bottom of that funnel is important, because when you get to that bottom of that funnel, show right here, it ain't about activity no more. When you get down here, it ain't about activity no more. It's about skill. See? And look, these holes are in here for a reason, because if you ain't got the right skill, if you're not bringing the right skill to the table during the transaction management side of things, this deal can bust out. And guess what? When it falls through this gap, it's hard to recover when you fall through the gap like that, because all of this activity that you put into to get to this point, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of emotional currency, and in some instances, literal currency, for you to get to this point, and it falls through the gaps like that, it's hard to recover from that. So that's why you got to be bringing the right kind of skill to the table, the right kind of expertise, the right kind of experience to the table. All right, so put your seatbelts on. It's going to be a fantastic, it's going to be we'll say it's going to be a phenomenal series, right? If you want to be a listing agent, you want to deal with sellers, then this is what you need to be listening to. Remember, to this week, I'm putting the application in the mail to Trek. where we're going to be offering 2 hours of CE credit, elective credit, when we do the in-office class, where we go through everything in 2 hours. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. We're all about redundancy, hearing this thing over and over and over again. So that's what we're about. All right, so a little bit of conflict resolution today. We did have one of our agents got a complaint, and you know, when any of our agents get a complaint, guess who else gets a complaint? Me. So that's why a lot of people don't like to be brokers, because there's a lot of liability that comes with it. So we just got the letter today saying that there will not be any disciplinary action taken on by Trek. So that's a great thing. But what I can tell you is this: if you treat people how you want to be treated, if you do right by people, then you don't have to worry about Trek. Trek can be scary. It can be a big, scary monster, right? Trek is designed to ensure that the consumer base is not being taken advantage by people that have a greater understanding of the process, because there are some bad actors out there in our industry. There needs to be some regulation and some oversight, because there are some bad actors out there that are taking advantage of people. And when it comes to homes, it is the largest financial activity that somebody may do in their whole life. So there needs to be that level of oversight. Don't let it freak you out, though, right? You be the best agent that you can be, right? When it comes to Brooks and Davis, we encourage you. We support you in being the best, having the best skill, being competent, being serious about your business, and being a professional. Because guess what? That's what we do every day. My goal is to be the best broker possible. My goal is to put you all in a situation to where you can be successful, that you can help a lot of people, right? Because that's all really success is when it comes to real estate and any kind of sales. The more people you help, the more money you make, period. So we're here to put you in a position to where you can help the most amount of people as possible. So don't let Trek freak you out. So for our time with conflict resolution, if somebody complains on something that you did, that's okay. The complaint's gonna be on me, so we're gonna be in this thing together, and we're just gonna go through the process, and we're gonna let Trek do what they need to do. But if you was not malicious in what you was trying to do, it was just an oversight, maybe some negligence, or maybe the person had a bad day and they just wanted to tell on you. Who knows? Just don't freak out, don't panic. We're here with you through the process. We'll get you through it. Just make sure that you're doing the best kind of business that you can do, and be a contributor to our industry, not somebody that's a distractor or can take away from our industry. All right? Capiche? Capiche. All righty. So we are going to, it looks like we're finishing up quickly today. Well, we don't have any agents that need any hour CE, so we necessarily don't even have to go the whole hour if we don't need to. I'm all about, being effective, right? So today's overview didn't take as much time as we thought it was going to take. But again, the series that we're going to be doing as far as marketing and listing the house is going to be good. It's going to be a good series. We're going to hit all of those aspects. But no need for me to belabor the point today. So next week, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be talking about, when speaking with a customer that wants to sell their home, how to determine if it's the right move for them at the time, right? So don't just think that every time somebody raises their hand and says, hey, I want to sell my house, that it's the best move for them. It may not be the best move for them. So we're going to talk next week on going through, again, looking at our success in RA machine, going through how to determine that we're asking the questions that we need to, we're qualifying the client to where we're putting them in the best position for them, not for us to make a commission. We're putting them in the best position to do what they want done, which in most instances is selling a home so they can move on to some other thing. It's more than just selling a house. It's what the home being sold can do for them, whether that's they need to relocate, whether they need to, they're trying to upgrade, they need more space, whatever the case is. It's not about the house being sold. It's about what selling the house will do for them. Okay. So with that being said, we don't have anybody needs any coaching today. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let me get my music going and we're going to bob our head, and I will see y'all on next week. So let me see. Let's get this going. Well, we have our... got one of them playing. We have our realtor... Let me find out which one it is. Let's see. All righty. Now let's turn it up. Shall we begin? No, because we are finished. Yep, early. We finished early. Anyway, thank you again for coming to another one of our Create Your New Life sessions. Again, we're not about wasting time, so we jump right into it. Told you a little bit about what we had going on. Talked about our big, hairy, audacious goal, big mountain that we're trying to climb. Showed you guys about our weekly property list. So every week, be on the lookout for it. If you want to see what properties we have. Talked about our hotline and our SAM cards. So some of the, what makes our agents special, things that they have access to. And we gave an overview of a new series that we're going to be going into, specifically talking about sellers and the best way to market and get their property sold. So we look forward to seeing you guys on next week. It's your host, Michael G. Davis, broker, CEO, Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. You guys enjoy this sunny day. We'll be talking to you later. Y'all have a good one.